Hello folks and welcome back to another Doctor Who Series 10 review with me, Jack Howling, and...
I was expecting John to say something there.
Yes, John is actually away at the moment. He's actually doing other things and he's pretty tied up. So unfortunately today it is just going to be us two, me, Jack Howling, and...
Me, Cody.
Right, well, first of all, this episode, which is titled The Pyramid at the End of the World. Now, this episode I felt was a big redeemer from the previous episode. The one that confuses with the whole dream, and the one that, well, dream, virtual reality, and literally had a fair few continuity errors just everywhere, plastered everywhere. The concept was good, but alas, the whole build-up was... It just didn't trigger what a Doctor Who episode should. But this episode was pretty darn amazing. So, we followed on from the previous episode where the Doctor had discovered that these monk-like creatures were plotting to take over the world by analysing every single event in history to not more or less get an idea of the future. Well, yeah, to get an idea of the future, but to mainly predict the biggest catastrophe, well, the biggest next catastrophe to ever happen that would cause mass extinction on Earth. They found it, and they tried to convince the human race to consent their planet to them so they could save them and essentially rule them for all eternity. But of course, the Doctor being the Doctor, even with his disability, he managed to, well, he tried to convince the main leader, not the main leaders, but the most important people of the world to not go ahead with the consent and to try and form a plan to save it. Now, this episode I really did enjoy.
Yes, I agree.
I really enjoyed it. A lot better than the last, and I think it's now given me the proper build-up ready for next week's, which is going to be the main attraction of it all, to see how this all kind of plays out. And of course, do bear in mind, we are now going to see Missy once again, and it seems that she is now going to play a part in saving the Earth, which is pretty funny, because obviously she's the one who wants to rule it. Now, in terms of the plot, I'm not really sure there's anything else I need to cover on that, because the main concept of this episode was to more or less state the fact that these creatures are here, we know their intentions, and there's a few ways that we can go about doing this, but of course the problem is that when the Doctor found out that what was going to cause mass extinction was in his reach, he managed to go there and prevent it from happening, but by doing so he was about to sacrifice his life, and thanks to Bill and her love and care for the Doctor, she decided to give her consent to the monks to give the Doctor's sight back, and in return she would give them the Earth. So, in Bill's place, I actually would... I don't know, would you actually do that? I mean, because you've got... Yes, these monks are now going to take over the Earth, but you do still have the Doctor, and not only that, but you have his sight as well. Therefore, if there's anyone who can get rid of them, he can. It's better than having him dead and not having the monks rule the Earth, because then if something else comes along in the future, as we have seen in Turn Left, if you remember,
yeah, I suppose
the world without the universe without the Doctor can be a bit messy. So I suppose in the long run, she did the right thing.
Yeah, actually, I agree. I mean, I had to think about it. I genuinely wasn't sure what I would have done. But now you've rationalised it like that, I think, yeah, probably I would have ended up being like, look, he needs to see this is stupid.
Yeah, Yeah. So, at the very end, once the consent was given and the monks now rule the earth and the Doctor got his sight back, the world is now, from what I can tell in the next time trailer, they actually seem to know the monks very well, and they've apparently been there since life began, apparently. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that kind of ends up, or how it's going to end eventually. Now, in terms of character development, not really much actually happened in this episode in terms of that, because we've more or less seen every sort of build we need to see. Maybe there's a few bits that, we will have a surprise towards the end of the series. And of course, other than that, in terms of characters, not much was actually there. However, there is one thing I do want to point out. The three soldiers, the Chinese soldier, the American, and the Russian.
Yeah.
When they joined up and shook hands and agreed that they together would never ever surrender the Earth to the aliens, and Bill kind of smiled, that actually did make me smile as well. I do agree that I actually liked that. That was a good kind of, idea to give to the audience, that the fact that by working together, you can accomplish many things, even though it didn't turn out good in the end. The point's still there, and again, that is for the plot itself in this episode. I felt that was a very good, important message to give to the audience. Now, in terms of writing, Peter Harness and Stephen Moffat wrote this episode. When I saw Stephen Moffat's name in the title, I was like, oh god, here we go again. What's he going to give us this time? However, that didn't happen. We got a fairly decent episode from this. Peter Harness, I can't actually quite remember what he's actually written, but I know he's actually played a part in Doctor Who before. Writing and continuity, I thought, was absolutely perfect in this episode. This episode was very linear, which is a good thing, in my terms, in my opinion.
Yeah, it seemed to keep up a trend, instead of suddenly you blink and you've missed 10 seconds worth of whatever was going on, and now you're absolutely mind.
Or you blink and then you've gone from one scene to another without any explanation whatsoever.
Yeah.
But no, I actually think in this episode they avoided a lot of loopholes, and there was, well, really nothing there, really. So I was real chuffed that they managed to create a nice linear story without me getting too confused and having to go, well, what the hell happened there? And again, I feel like it's a good build-up for the next episode, and I can't wait to see what Missy's going to do to help save the Earth.
That will be interesting, yeah, to see how she can help.
Yep. Now, I'm trying to think of other things I can say for this episode, but I think, in particular, this one kind of sets in motion the events that's going to happen in the next one. I mean, it's kind of like, what was it? The Sound of Drums?
Yeah.
How they were trying to kind of figure all this stuff out to prepare for what's going to come next, even though they have no idea what's going to happen next. They still want to try and prepare as to what was going to happen, and therefore help kind of prevent it, or at least find a workaround to get things back to how they are. So, but no, I suppose you could say this episode was more or less a build-up for the next one. I'll say, I don't really want to say it's a stand-in episode. But,
yeah.
But I feel that that's more or less what it was. But it was a good one. We'll give it that.
It was very good. I mean, that's one of the best episodes I've watched for a long time.
Especially for the series, actually, yeah.
Yeah, because when episodes always used to end, I always used to have like a feeling of holy fuck, that was amazing. And I hadn't had that for the past few episodes, but like after the end of that one, I was like, I need to go and get in this video now.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, so much crazy, cool shit we've just seen.
I also like in this episode how the Doctor's I think it just proves that no matter what he has or what issues he has with himself, he can do anything. No matter what disability or what injury he may have, the Doctor always finds a way to kind of do what he can to save the world. And I think that is really interesting, because obviously he's not only got his physicality, I suppose the word you could use, but he's got his mind, his resources. So him using the glasses to make him able to see structures, or at least map his structure, map his surroundings, to get a visual representation of that. Although actually that doesn't really explain how he can see that, because he's still blind. Unless the glasses are linked.
Yeah, I'm guessing the glasses have some kind of
neural interface.
Yes.
for lack of a better way of putting it. I suppose actually that's true, because where the glasses are, I think behind our ears, there's a section where it actually kind of goes to the brain. So that makes sense.
Pass it off as that fairly easily.
So, other than that, that's pretty much all we can really say for this episode. Now, in terms of verdicts, Cody, what would you rate this episode and why?
I actually really enjoyed this episode, so I'm going to give it probably quite a solid 10, I think.
Ooh, really?
I feel like we need a fanfare in the background every time someone says that.
Yeah, that's true, because a 10's a rarity at this current moment in time. Wow, even I'm a bit shocked by that now. Whew, give me a minute.
I actually really like the episode there. That's one of the better ones I've seen for a very long time.
Yeah.
But I thought it was going to be ridiculous because it was carrying on from that dream sequence last week, but no.
They actually seem to have dropped that. They seem to have dropped that idea. I mean, they did mention it in the beginning with Bill's date, which I thought was quite funny, by the way, because in the virtual reality we had them interrupted by the Pope, and now this time we had them interrupted by the United Nations, which was quite funny. Although I'm surprised we haven't seen Unit in this episode.
They referenced them, so yeah, it does amaze me that
the Unit wasn't used.
Showed up.
I mean, I'm not sure what her name is, the actor who played Kate Lethbridge Stewart. I'm not sure what her status is at the moment, whether she's still part of Doctor Who or not, or whether she agreed to do an episode. But either way, for me, I'd say I'd give it. I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9. It was a fairly standard episode. I still want to save my 10 for the biggest one, which I feel is yet to come, but of course we'll find out soon. So, folks, Cody, if you've got anything to add?
No, I believe that's...
everything's covered.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean,
covered everything for this episode. I mean, next week's review is going to be even better.
Oh God!
By the bloody, the next time trailer.
Yeah, that reminded me of. I have to admit, these two episodes have reminded me, not the last one, but this one and next week's has reminded me a lot of end of series 3.
Yes, I can see where you would draw that.
Obviously, in the second part of the series 3 finale, or finales, obviously you had the Doctor, Martha, and Captain Jet preparing, trying to figure out what the Master's planning and whatnot, and then in the third part, it was literally like a war zone. Everyone was at each other's necks, and Martha had figured out how to save the Doctor in the world and all that. And that's what I feel is going to be like this now in the next episode, this episode and the next. But for me, yeah, a 9 for me.
It's quite funny that you compare it to Series 3 when obviously the Master's in the next episode.
Yes, it is actually quite funny and quite ironic in a way. So, folks, that is pretty much all we can give for this episode. There's not much else really I can think of adding. So until next week's episode, do take care, see you soon, and bye-bye for now.
Goodbye!
Thank you folks for watching. If you enjoyed, do please leave a like or comment below on this video.
If you want more, on Jack's side is the last video and the recommended video that we've suggested to you.
To stay tuned for more, on John's right is the link to our channel so you can subscribe, and also we have a link to our website if you want more information about who we are and what we do. Until next time,
take care, stay safe,
and remember,
let your geeks out. Bye bye guys.